Okay, what if I told you that finally landing that dream six-figure salary might actually be the very thing keeping you broke? I know, it sounds totally backward, right? But today in this explainer, we are uncovering the actual, remarkably boring secret to building real wealth from absolute zero. We're going to dive into the exact math, a dead simple framework you can use, and the hidden traps that are literally stealing your money right now.
So there's this absolutely staggering piece of payments research from 2025, and it reveals something terrifying. Half, roughly 50% of Americans earning $100,000 or more a year report living paycheck to paycheck. Just let that sink in for a second. We aren't talking about people just scraping by here. These are folks earning objectively great money, yet they are completely stuck running on a financial treadmill. And we really need to understand why.
Well, the invisible culprit here is what we call the lifestyle gap. Think about it. The exact moment you get a raise, the world immediately hands you more ways to spend it. A slightly bigger apartment, maybe a slightly nicer car, and it all feels entirely reasonable in the moment, doesn't it? But your expenses just rise in the exact same ratio as your new pay. Without a solid plan, a raise doesn't actually build your wealth. It just vanishes right into that gap.
To actually break out of that trap, you have to hit a very specific mathematical milestone, which is the $100,000 tipping point. Getting to that first 100 grand is notoriously brutal. It is literally like pushing a massive boulder up a really steep hill. But the incredible thing is, once you cross this threshold, the physical laws of your wealth completely change. The math finally starts pushing that boulder for you.
And the magic behind that tipping point is honestly almost unbelievable. So if you invest just $600 a month at a totally conservative 7% annual return, it takes about 10 years to reach just over $100,000. But if you fast forward to year 30, you hit $1 million. And here is the mind-bending part. By the time you reach that million, roughly 70% of it is purely background compound interest. You didn't even earn it. The system just did the heavy lifting for you.
Which, of course, brings us to a massive, glaring mystery. If compounding is so effortlessly powerful, and the math is really this straightforward, why did the vast majority of people never reach this tipping point? Like, what is the invisible force dragging everyone backward? Well, here is the twist that most people just never sit down to actually calculate. Compound interest works for you at roughly 7% a year. But high-interest credit card debt, that works aggressively against you at around 27%. That creates a brutal 20% gap. It is exactly like trying to run a marathon while wearing an invisible 200-pound wheat vest. You can buy the absolute best running shoes in the world, but with that vest on, there is no way you can win.
So this is the absolute bottom line. You simply cannot invest your way out of a 20% math problem. This is the one and only phase of wealth building where speed actually matters. You must calculate the exact month and year you're going to sever this high-interest chain, because the very second that weight vest comes off, you can redirect those massive monthly payments to actually pay yourself.
All right, so let's jump right into phase one, the CEO wealth system. It's a dead simple framework.
So here's how you actually build this thing. CEO, 3 easy steps. Step 1, cut. Now, we aren't talking about toxic frugality here. You absolutely don't need to start making your own soap. Keep spending on the few things you genuinely love, but just brutally cut the mindless subscriptions. Step 2, earn. Build real tangible skills that lead to a raise or a much better job. And step 3, optimize. The Monday after you get paid, set your accounts to automatically transfer your savings. Make it so you never, ever even have to look at it.
Now, to really turbocharge that automated system, you're going to want to implement this practically invisible trick called the December rule. Every single December, you increase your investment contribution by exactly 1%. That's it. So if you invested 10% this year, next year it's 11%. Seriously, just setting a single recurring calendar reminder on December 15th requires absolutely zero willpower. 1% is mathematically so tiny, you literally won't even feel it in your monthly grocery budget. But as your income grows over a lifetime, that tiny automated 1% bump is working silently in the background. That one habit alone can literally be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But automating all that money doesn't mean much if a sudden disaster completely wipes you out. Warren Buffett actually once noted that Berkshire Hathaway is structured so that it will never run out of money. And that level of absolute peace of mind, that comes from having a financial moat. Just like a real moat protects a castle,
Your financial moat guarantees that an unexpected medical bill or a sudden layoff never forces you to panic sell your investments at a terrible time.
Building it is actually pretty straightforward. You just calculate your actual fixed costs, so rent, utilities, groceries, and add a 15% buffer for life's inevitable surprises. You want 3 to 6 months of this saved up, eventually scaling up to 12 months for ultimate flexibility. And this is crucial. This money does not belong in the stock market. Keep it completely safe and liquid in a high-yield savings account, ready to deploy the exact second you need it.
Okay, moving right along to part 2, the investment engine, and specifically how to avoid the 1% trap.
Listen, this is where your automated money actually goes to grow, and it's also where the financial industry quietly tries to fleece you. The devastation of hidden fees is profound. If you invest $50,000 and add $1,000 a month over 35 years, just look at the math here. The difference between paying a rock-bottom 0.2% index fund fee versus a standard 1% management fee is a staggering $423,000. That is a massive chunk of your wealth legally robbed from you. Keeping your fees low is completely non-negotiable. But here's the kicker. Even if you nail the perfect math, human psychology is going to try to sabotage you through 4 distinct traps. First, you've got the allure of get-rich-quick meme stocks. Second is toxic frugality, where constant deprivation just ruins your actual life today. Third is the I missed out syndrome, where you let the regret of not starting at age 20 completely paralyze you from starting now. And finally, the optimization spiral, where you agonize for months over a fraction of a percent instead of just launching the darn system.
Let's be incredibly clear here. You cannot get rich overnight, and honestly, you shouldn't even try. Real wealth is built slowly, using really boring systems that just reliably work. They always say the best time to start investing was 20 years ago, right? But the second best time is today. Set up the boring, automated CEO system, leave it completely alone, and go out and actually enjoy your life.
So I'm going to leave you with this final choice. Are you going to take just 1 hour today to build a boring system that literally buys your freedom? Or are you going to stay stuck on that treadmill waiting for the next 17 easy payment solution? What is the single mindless subscription you are going to cut today to fund your tipping point? Drop it in the comments, let the math do the hard work for you, and take your power back.